Hello, viewers. Thanks for joining us for another segment of Cameron with Authors Inside. First of all, I want to wish you all a very happy holiday. We didn't have a segment last week because it was Thanksgiving, but I got a very special guest. I got one of my brothers that just recently been released. But before we let him introduce himself, if you can hit the like button and subscribe to receive more notification like this. So let's get to it, brother. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I've been out 1 month and 1 week, maybe not even a whole week, but it's a great feeling, man. Life is hectic out here, but I'm enjoying myself.
That's good. Hey, introduce yourself to our audience.
All right, my name is Keith Chambers. Um, I'm an author. That's why I'm connected with Authors Inside. I'm a poet. I'm a self-help facilitator. I'm a college graduate. I'm a formerly incarcerated person, served a life sentence, and was paroled on October 20th, 2023, after 27 years and 4 months and 20 days incarceration.
Man, that was a long time, man. I feel you, man. Hey,
Yeah.
congratulations, man, on your freedom, man. And it's good to see you on this side of the fence.
Oh yeah, it was hard earned, but it was worth it, man. It's very worth it. Yeah.
That's what's up. Hey, Keith, can you share with our viewers what was your thought process in the beginning of your incarceration, and and just share us with some of the things your mindset and your feelings in the beginning of your incarceration.
But in the beginning, I was scared. I mean, here I am. I'm 28 years old. I'm from a gang neighborhood. I've done a lot of rough stuff in my life, but it's really not who I am. But when I came to prison, I was very scared. So I developed a predator slash prey mentality where I had to convince everybody I was a predator so I wouldn't become prey. And it worked for a while. I had to mean the level 4 stare. I'm 6'4", I was 260 pounds. So people didn't just pick on me for the heck of it. It had to be for real serious stuff. So I had to assert myself more often than I would like to. And it became a survival technique that it served me well, but it was hard to turn off. It's hard to
Yeah,
turn that mentality off and be a regular person. It's hard to show emotion, genuine emotion, other than anger or aggression. You know, it's hard to show joy, happiness, because nothing that can be really celebrated, because you never know when it can be taken away. So you lose your humanity those first few years, and it's a rough road. It was a hard period in my life to convince myself I had to be who I wasn't just to make it. So I could be here today talking about it.
hey, brother, I definitely could relate. It was a rough road, but like I say, I'm glad you made it. Can you share with our viewers what was your turning point? What as far as what made you turn things around as far as your change?
Um, well, I went to this group called AVP, Alternative to Violence Project. And I didn't want to do it at first. I heard all the rumors, it was a bunch of silly games, people laughing and joking. I said, I don't have time for that. I got life. Well, I look like running around with a bunch of people I don't know having fun, especially mixing of the races, which really wasn't something we did in that era. But a good friend, Eddie Dawkins, he talked me into it. And I went, and I realized right then and there that I found who I was again. I was that guy who liked to joke around and have fun. And it was a safe place to do it. And I kept coming back. I became a facilitator in it. And then the whole opinion of me on the prison yard changed. I wasn't that guy who made good photo, who could sharpen a knife, who could play good basketball, who was ready to fight. All those things changed. I became the guy who could help you find some sort of peace in prison. Even though I haven't found my peace yet, I was helping other people find peace. And then that showed me that it was okay to reach out. It was okay to take the mask off for a while and put it away even, and forget about it. And all that was I was still 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And then my mother passed away. And when my mother passed away, I said I can't be anybody else than the person she wanted me to be, the person she believed me to be. I gotta go back to my roots. I have to reconnect with my family. I have to find out again what it feels like to be Keith instead of being Dread or being KC. I had to be Keith again. And thanks to people like you who called me Keith on a regular basis, it helped me hold on to that. Helped me hold on to that. My turning point really was like 2011. When I stopped all the BS. I stopped pretending to be something else and became who I was again.
Hey, Keith. Yeah, good, man. That's good stuff. What do you think that the ability to want to help other people, where do you think that came from?
Well, that came from being helped. That came from other people helping me and the feeling I got from it. And I was like, I can help people feel that same way. And then it returned that feeling to me again. So when you're in the helping field, you find yourself being helped as much as you help. And it's worthwhile, man. It's really worthwhile to do that. It really is.
That's what's up, man. Hey, Keith, man. Here at Authors Inside, what's going on at Authors Inside. We try to let our experience be meaningful to the youngsters out there, average youth, and so they don't have to go through what we've been through. So we just try to share our experience and let them know what it's like. Give them the cold, honest truth, man. Hopefully, it'll deter them from coming to prison.
No, definitely. That's a good mission. That's why I support you guys. That's why I rock with you.
Yeah. Hey, Keith.
Yeah.
Can you share with our viewers what are some of the most memorable experience while you was incarcerated?
I mean, dealing with what? Like life-changing experience?
Violence.
Oh, violence?
Yeah.
The most violent thing, I've been in prison probably 6 months, and the yard went down. Really, it didn't really go down. It just got quiet. It got really quiet, and then I looked around, and the Hispanics were removing somebody from the yard, and they have a different code than other ethnic groups in prison. They go till they're done. They go till they get caught. So I was looking. Everybody on the whole yard was looking at this stabbing go on, a 2-on-1 stabbing, and I looked up at the gun tower, what was going on, and they were looking the other way.
Yeah.
And they stabbed that dude for about 5 minutes. They got tired.
What?
They left him laying there. They went and they took their knives and they hit him because they wasn't gonna get caught, and they figured the dude was dead. The dude got up and they dug their knives back up and they killed him. All this happened in about 6 or 7 minutes. And it wasn't until that dude was dead that they said yard down. That moment changed me. It changed the way I viewed life. I said, life is precious, but not in prison. I have to be in charge of my own safety. There's no way I could rely on anybody else to protect me. I had to protect myself. Because if something like that could go on, where the whole yard stops moving and the people who was in charge with protecting and enforcing discipline allowed it to happen by looking the other way, who am I? I'm no more special than that guy.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, that was very that's very traumatic. The violent experience. Yeah, that's what we want these kids to know, man. There's a whole nother world out there that have no idea. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not fun and games in here.
Yeah. Hey, Keith. What was you doing while you was incarcerated? What were some skills that you learned?
Well, I knew how to type already, and I learned how to read and understand and argue law. It became also I learned how to make wine too, but that's another story. But I learned how I became a jailhouse lawyer.
Jailhouse lawyer.
I became
okay.
a pretty good one. I have published cases. I've helped affect changes in the law, and I've helped people get out of prison who should not have been in for long as they were. And that skill, that ability to look at something for what it is and not for what it isn't, and to wipe away all the whatever's on the right, whatever's on the left, just get rid of it and see for what it is. I learned that by learning how to do the law. To be totally objective.
And what you learned in prison, do you plan on carrying that out here while you out in society now?
I find myself doing it, but not in the same sense. I find myself applying that objective logic to problems and looking at it from the problem point of view and then the solution point of view, and not what caused it and not what the after effects. No, I'm looking at the problem and the solution. I never address a problem until I have a solution. So I have an end that I'm working to every time.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Hey Keith, if you could talk to your 9-year-old self, what would be your message to your 9-year-old self, knowing the things you know now?
I would say listen to that teacher who told you you can be anything you want to be. I would tell my 9-year-old self in the fourth grade that it's okay to be light skinned, it's okay to have curly hair, it's okay to be sensitive, it's okay to not to like to fight, it's okay to cry when you get upset, but learn from those things. Don't cling to your mother so much. Learn from your father as well. You know, I didn't have a father in the home, so I resented him. And at 9 years old, I didn't listen to anybody but my mother, and only if she was giving me my way. You know, I really wasn't abandoned. I wasn't neglected, but I felt like a victim because of my skin color and because I got teased a lot. And I didn't understand what was going on. So I would tell that 9-year-old self, listen to that teacher and pay more attention to the adults in your life, not the kids, the adults. They really know what they're talking
Nice word, man. That's what's up, man.
Leave it alone. Mhm.
Hey, hey Keith,
Yes.
before we go, is there anything you'd like to tell our viewers? Anything that I didn't ask you that you wanted us to get out?
Well, I would like to tell the viewers that prison is not full of the worst people. It's full of the worst people that got caught. There's so many other people in this world that are doing the same things, getting away with it every day, from politicians to law enforcement to school teachers to your neighbors. You can't just don't judge books by its covers. You know, that's all I want to say. And buy my book, published by Authors Inside. You know, it's for little kids like me that would grow up mixed. It's called Who Am I? Buy that book, man. This help reach some kids. I say at the back of that book, if I would have had this book read to me when I like books being read to me, I might have had a better, higher level of confidence growing up.
And put that cover back on the screen for us. Who am I? Keith Chambers is one of our published authors, and we're very excited to have him on. And that's the book he published and written and published while he was incarcerated. Who am I? And it's a good read, and I encourage you guys to read it. So you can just really understand his mindset and the things that he went through and how he came around and how he presented himself today. So, Who Am
Thank you.
I is available on Amazon. Just put Keith Chambers, Who Am I, and it'll pop right up.
All right, man. And thank you, Emmanuel.
Hey man, thank you for joining us, man, and we will hope to have you back soon.
Oh, we're gonna do big things, man. We got plans.
Man, I'm happy
I
for
love
you,
you,
man.
man.
Enjoy, man. I'm happy for you, man.
All right, and as I am for you. You paved the way.
Hey, I was going to ask you before I forgot to ask you. Look, what was it like your first week of being out? What was it like? What type of feelings was it, and what was your thought process?
Man, it was the easiest transition I ever made in my life, and I attribute that to being prepared. I attribute that to coming out with my eyes open, but having no expectations, no false expectations of what freedom would be like. And everything that's happened to me has felt like that was supposed to happen. It's all part of God's plan.
Oh man, that's a different take. Okay, that's good, man. It was a
Yeah.
smooth transition.
How can I be overwhelmed? This is what I prepared for. This is what I wanted. My prayers have been answered. How can I be overwhelmed by having my prayers answered? You know?
And and before I let you go, Keith, I want to ask you one more question. Um, what would you what would you say would be your approach to engaging the average youth?
At risk youth, I would say work work hard on discovering who you are. Find out what you like to do, not what you're expected to do. You know, because you know the old saying, if you do what you like to do for a living, you never work a day in your life. You know,
Yeah,
we put a lot of responsibility on kids, and they take a lot on themselves. They have to be owned. They have to perform. They have to be something, but they don't really get to do what they like to do. They just do what's expected of them from others, their peers, from adults, from society. They don't know what they really like to do. They haven't figured it out yet. You know?
so you were saying your approach to engaging them is to help them figure out what they like to do,
What they're good at.
what
Find
they're
something
good
you're
at.
good at and you actually like to do, and then you go from there with them. You don't force them to do something that you think they'd be good at doing. You
Yeah.
find out what they like to do that they're good at, and you help them. You help them develop those skills. You help them develop skills in that area.
Okay, for sure. And thank you, Keith, man. I
Yeah,
appreciate you,
you
man.
got
Thank you for
empowered me.
joining us, man.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me, man. All right.
And you have a good night, man.
You too. One love.
I love. Camera off.